I'm just gonna record something right now, just as my voice is still dead and still struggling. And I'm gonna try and do this without dying so much or sounding so out of breath. But as you can tell, my voice is pretty fucked, and this is me trying my hardest. I'm currently ill right now, and I've been recording this video for about a week or two. And I finally finished the game, and I wanted to make it as soon as possible. Obviously, being ill, I was like, oh, I can't fucking narrate for this thing. So, I have decided to make an AI narrated voiceover for it. I hope you guys enjoy. I will be tuning in every now and again, but hopefully I can edit this to make it sound pretty good. So, this is OUTPATH, and let's the story begin. Fucking hell, I'm sorry, guys.
In the beginning, there was only silence and a single patch of dirt. But from that silence, I forged a world, not through talent, not through luck, but through the sacred trifecta of clicking, crafting, and occasionally crying as the constant clicking caused pain within my finger. OUTPATH isn't just a game, it's a journey, a spiritual quest of automation, resource gathering, and violently smashing your finger against the mouse button, leaving nothing but bone. I want you to know right now that clicking no here was a decision I'd regret. Not just in the moment, but for a good few hours. Ladies, I apologize in advance. It all began, as many stories do, with trees. So many trees. I chopped, I clicked, I chopped again, in pursuit of crafting greatness, or at the very least, a workbench. But alas, I lacked the sacred trifecta: wood, grass, and whatever the hell else it wanted from me. After scavenging half the known planet's berry bushes and yanking grass like an over-caffeinated landscaper, I finally crafted the workbench. And in that moment, I knew peace for about 4 seconds. Because that's when the clicking hit me. That infernal, repetitive echo of my soul clicking. I thought, why is this on by default? Who recommended this? Who designed this? What foul human, what wicked, twisted architect of suffering would endorse this mechanic? But there was no time for existential dread. I had bigger problems. I needed tools. Tools meant flint. Flint meant stone, and stone meant grinding. Naturally, in a fit of either genius or madness, I crafted a flint axe before a pickaxe. Why? I still don't know. Even now, as I speak these words, I question my past self. But it happened. And thus began the era of no pickaxe.
Deja vu, I just been in this place before. Higher on the street, and I know it's my time to go.
Eventually, I built a research table. From it, I unlocked the furnace, a warm beacon of progress, whispering promises of future upgrades and fiery greatness. But night fell, and with it, hunger. I looked down at my inventory and found only a few sad oranges. It would not be enough, not for 100 days, not for this journey. Little did I know, the answer to my survival had already been found, hidden among the chaos. A food source, a blessing, a meme-worthy miracle that would sustain me for weeks to come. With the furnace finally crafted, a new era began. One of fire, of transformation, of endless soul-numbing farming.
Deja vu, I just been in this place before. Higher on the street, and I know it's my time to go.
My reward? A single copper ingot. One. Like some cruel cosmic joke. But one ingot would not suffice, not for tools, not for progress, not even for bragging rights. So I returned to the research table. The anvil, a shining beacon of possibility, caught my eye. Surely, this would be the thing to finally end my wrist-shattering suffering. It was not. Because the anvil required bricks, bricks required sand, and sand did not exist on my island. So once again, the mission changed. I needed credits. I needed expansion. I needed land. To the great beyond I would go, fueled by hope, desperation, and the faint scent of cooked copper. Little did I know, the answer to my survival had already been found. Hidden among the grass. Overlooked. Dismissed. Collected not for sustenance, but for crafting. Fiber, yes, fiber. Turns out this game lets you eat grass clippings. I would eat a lot of grass clippings. Not by choice, not by strategy, but by pure, dumb survival instinct. I became the lawnmower. And so, nourished by foliage and driven by confusion, I pressed on, unaware of the chaos still to come. At last, expansion, new land, new hope, new sand. Then with reverence, and turtles. Majestic, graceful, delicious. The possibilities felt endless. For about 30 seconds. Then reality returned. The oars were here, yes, but they were up. Luckily, my character, a previously unknown descendant of every parkour YouTuber from 2013, could climb anything, wall running, ledge hopping, a gravity-defying goat in human form. With these new abilities, I gazed into the distance, a bright-eyed visionary looking toward the future, and immediately ran face first into a wall. But progress is progress. As I explored the expanded world, I stumbled upon floating books, glowing, humming, filled with ancient knowledge and probably a coupon code. Turns out, the more islands I unlocked, the more skills I gained. Real skills. Helpful ones. Unlike my original decision-making process. Day 3. 1 whole hour in. I finally made a flint pickaxe. Why I didn't do this sooner is a mystery even I cannot solve. But it was required to make a copper pickaxe. And here's the kicker. The copper one was somehow easier to make? What a joke. Gift wrapped in shame. That night, I reflected by violently assaulting the local wildlife. I took turtle shells. Then I took their lives. I needed a win. Did I need a copper sword before a copper pickaxe? No. Did I make one anyway? Yes. Why? Because it looked cool. And I was tired of eating grass like a bloody sheep. Day 5. I finally made a sleeping bag. Why it took me 5 days to create a rectangle of fabric is a question for the gods. But the moment it touched the ground, I felt something I hadn't felt since day 0. Rest. Psych. I placed it, and then didn't even bother sleeping in it. I simply stared at it, like a man who builds a boat, and then walks into the ocean instead. I don't know when it happened. Time became a blur. But eventually, finally, I made a copper pickaxe. It had taken 5 days, dozens of berries, countless regrets, and the blood of at least 3 hurdles. But now, mining would be slightly less of a nightmare. With enough copper finally smelted, I forged my very first artifact, a copper ring. Elegant, powerful, a true symbol of progress. Its power? Clicking. Yes, more clicking. By touching structures, I could make them craft faster. Apparently, I could have been doing this the entire time, but only realized it after crafting the ring. Amazing. With this newfound power wrapped around my finger, I built a spinning wheel, a device of ancient wisdom and industrial revolution. It allowed me to create thread to make nets, nets to collect trash. So much trash. The ocean apparently is a never-ending parade of garbage. But every now and then, a worm, a fish, a single twig. Hope. Thread had another sacred purpose. Leather, a material so vital it was practically woven into the future of my civilization. And what did thread require? Fiber, my food source. Thus began the great conflict. Eat to live, or spin to craft. There was only one solution. Upgrade my lawnmower skills. Several hours passed. My clicking had reached new levels of numbness, but finally, a breakthrough. An auto miner. A small machine with a mighty heart. It broke objects around me, freeing my fingers from their cruel fate. Well, sort of. Its range, 5 meters. Its fuel, me. Apparently, I have lightning in my fingertips. And yet, I dared to dream. A future where I no longer had to click, where machines ran everything, where I could stand tall, arms crossed at the pinnacle of OUTPATH, overseeing a world that runs itself. But that future is still far away. For now, I'm just a man. A tired, overworked man who dreams.
Day 10. I made a bug catcher. Why? Unclear. Maybe I was SpongeBob now. Maybe jellyfishing was my new identity. With my trusty net in hand, I could now catch butterflies, moths, even worms. Yes, worms. Why I need a net to catch a worm, a creature that literally doesn't move faster than depression, I'll never know. But maybe, just maybe, this was foreshadowing. Fishing? Bait? Narrative depth and OUTPATH? Unlikely, but I was listening, game. Oh my God! I finally did it. After 4 hours. 4 hours of relentless, soul-destroying, finger-breaking, tendon-stretching clicking, I discovered something I could have had almost from the beginning. Working gloves. They let me hold down the button. That's it. That's the feature. But to me, it was liberation. I trained my finger for 4 hours. For nothing. Well, maybe not nothing. Let's just say I'm ready for when I finally get a girlfriend. Anyway, with the working gloves of the gods now fused to my soul, I returned to mining. And for the first time, it didn't hurt. These gloves, these beautiful, pixelated miracles, they gave me joy. Fueled by glove-based euphoria, I unlocked the third part of the island. And what a land it was. New skills, new ores, copper, coal, stone, and plenty of it. The world was expanding, and so was I. Like a man possessed. Like a mad scientist on an island with zero ethical oversight. I began unlocking new structures. Wildly. Unnecessarily. Beautifully. First came the inscription table. A dark, arcane altar upon which I combined bugs, worms, wings, and assorted trash to conjure mysterious ingredients. The ancient demonic arts powered by butterflies. To this day, I don't know what I was making, but it felt powerful, and probably unsafe for the environment. Next, the advanced crafting table, a pinnacle of technological progress, a marvel of construction. I did absolutely nothing with it. I could have crafted a camera, taken selfies, captured the essence of my suffering for the gram. But I was too busy slaving away. No time for clout. Only survival. Shortly after, I unlocked the final piece of the island. And with it, a skills table. A place where I could finally upgrade the strange abilities bestowed upon me by the magical floating books of forgotten knowledge. Knowledge, drifting through the air like a motivational quote on Pinterest.
So, I'm still ill, as you can probably tell, but I'm just popping in to let you guys know that I am sorry. See, I'm going through all my footage right now, and I cannot find the small gap between what happens from just then to just now. So, yeah, A little bit of footage lost. This happens towards the end as well, but it's okay because I make up for it. Anyway, I hope you guys are already enjoying. I hope the narrating is going good, and yeah, peace. Oh fuck me, man.
At some point, I lost an hour of footage. What was lost in that time? Only the most important things. A new biome, a savanna, golden and rich with opportunity. Wheat, beetroot, iron, and trees that fought back, metaphorically. Resources were tougher, but they gave more. It was day 20! In that time, I built a semi-automatic water collection system. Because of course I did. Powered naturally by my electric fingertips. Because who needs batteries when you have sheer will and carpal tunnel? I even made a small farm with growing seeds. Life from dirt. But there was a catch. Resources only spawned and auto-collected in the biome I was currently in. So I did what any reasonable player would do. I moved. My entire base. Then I unlocked another biome, the desert. It had crabs, it had gold ore, it had cactus. So much cactus. I didn't even know what to do with the cactus. Yet. But I had it, and that's what mattered. I could catch sand beetles with my net and pick up shells from the scorching sand like a beachcombing gremlin. It was paradise, in a dry, spiky, gold-filled kind of way. And somehow, in just 1 hour and 30 minutes, I unlocked 2 biomes, moved an entire base, built a functioning farm, added beehives, and created a semi-automatic gold-gathering, cactus-farming, tree-cutting machine that harvested goodies, and yet I forgot to press record. Some would call it bad luck. I call it big brain. Along the way, I unlocked many new structures. Too many, perhaps. I crafted iron tools, strong, reliable, dependable, and then an amber pickaxe. It wasn't as good as the iron one, but it had a small chance of dropping amber, a mysterious gem I didn't understand but immediately became obsessed with. I didn't know what amber did, still don't, but it sparkled, so I kept digging. Somewhere in that flurry of progress, I also built an iron bug nest, because clearly I had dreams of opening a bug zoo. I spent my days jellyfishing, not with SpongeBob, but with myself, collecting insects from the ground like a man truly at peace with madness. I continued unlocking blueprints, more structures, complex designs, beautiful plans I would never use. Occasionally, when a brain cell flickered back to life, I would remember that these buildings were meant to be placed, and perhaps used. But most of the time, I just went back to farming. Then came the next great leap in tool evolution. Bone tools. Yes, bone. Somehow stronger than iron. It made me question everything. My logic, my life, my understanding of metallurgy, but this isn't Earth. This is OUTPATH. And on this path, bones beat steel. And bugs are currency.
Durasteel, a mysterious ingot born from fire and confusion. Coal, for smelting.
Glass, because I guess aesthetics. And then gold and iron, because whoa! What is Durasteel? I don't know, but I assume it's more durable than steel, because naming conventions matter. This was my next tool upgrade, and I would need a lot of gold. Like, way too much. Like, should have started mining this 12 days ago levels of gold. In parallel, I expanded my farm. New seeds, new hope. I wanted to automate the growing process, but I've never had a green thumb, and frankly, I forgot about it immediately after planting them. Bone pike seeds, which sounds illegal. Berry seeds, those I understood. Moonlight mushroom seeds, glana seeds, and a variety of other botanical mysteries I no longer remember.
I think I just liked collecting seeds.
I'm a wizard, Harry! That was the thought as I crafted my very first magical item, the Potion of the Creature. Combined with my newly acquired bone staff, yes, bone again, this allowed me to summon wildlife at will. Chickens, cows, worms, bees, butterflies, slimes, all so I could collect bones.
Bones would become essential to my life here.
Not just for tools, but for the dark, unholy rituals I now performed upon my inscription table. Oh, and I also milked a cat.
Day 35. A new biome. This land was unlike the rest. Lush, vibrant, painted in greens and pinks like a dream rendered in saturated pixels. New biome meant new skills. Most of them completely useless. So subtle, I wasn't even sure they were doing anything. But occasionally, one made me smile, like the 10% credit boost, which I could upgrade with credits to get even more credits. It was basically an NFT with actual value. This island also introduced a strange new ore, Lushite, which, of course, became Lushite ingots because naming consistency. But the real discovery wasn't the ore. It wasn't the mushrooms, it wasn't the beautifully pink foliage. It was the walking stick men. No, not like little stick figures from your school notebook. These were full-blown Alice in Wonderland nightmares. Living branches with twiggy limbs and the audacity to just exist. Unluckily for them, they could be harvested. Their brittle bodies, perfect fuel for my dark rituals. Their lives, joyfully sacrificed to feed my inscription table's insatiable hunger. Finding one, a highlight of my day. Inspired by all this arboreal bloodshed, I constructed another mining automation system. But this time, I upgraded. Coal-powered. An actual electrical unit. No more relying on my fingertips for energy. Except, of course, to click 100 times to load the damn coal into the machine. Progress is pain. Oh, and I unlocked the ability to summon ghosts. So now I guess I'm a ghostbuster. Or a necromancer, or just really confused. Honestly, at this point, I'm all of the above. With my work in the Lushai biome complete, I set my sights on a new obsession. Chlorophyll. A suspiciously green, suspiciously slimy substance that I would need in alarming quantities. Buckets, bathtubs, entire swimming pools of the stuff. This was my next chapter. Day 40. To craft chlorophyll, I needed fiber. Once upon a time, my only food source. But I've moved up in life. I eat cooked meat now. Real protein. Gives me a +2 click buff. Tastes like victory. And bread, plus 10% crit chance. Who knew carbs could be so powerful? But meat and bread were easy. Chlorophyll was not. To create it, I needed not only fiber and seaweed, but flowers and yellow ahu. Yes, ahu, bless you. Now you're probably thinking, Seth, there are flowers everywhere. What's the problem? Or maybe, why not just make a flower farm? Automate it. Easy. Wrong. Because chlorophyll costs 10 flowers per batch, and 25 fiber, and guess what? Everything else in the game also uses flowers. It was time to become the lawnmower again. But not just any lawnmower. Not the weak, pushy kind. I became one of those ride-on beasts, like a bored American dad with too much time and not enough therapy. Amid the chaos, I began constructing new buildings. More complexity, more confusion. That's when I learned about synchronization. Place the right structures next to each other, and they reveal hidden recipes. Not faster crafting, not prettier lights. New items. Nobody told me this. Other than collect wood for a workbench, this game has no tutorial. Everything else I had to discover on my own. Soon I began learning decorative blueprints, listing beds, floors, walls, the foundations of my future base. I even unlocked jump pads, which are completely useless, because I can already double jump. Dash like a fighting game character.
and wall climb like a caffeinated squirrel by spamming the spacebar. But the true winner, the most useless item I have ever unlocked, was a chest. To store items. This is a solo game. I have infinite inventory space. Literally a magical anime bag of holding. I could store the entire map in my pocket. But sure, let's build a box.
It was time. Base building. Base moving. Advanced researching. Day 50 began with breakthroughs at the advanced research table. New items, new ideas. New levels of confusion. Then I built a brand new base, exactly 5 meters from my old one. But this time, it floated. Perched upon magically buoyant planks of wood like some spiritual IKEA yacht. I went with an open-air design. No roof, very spacious. Excellent airflow. Then I migrated all my structures, synergizing them with clinical precision. Yes, I used the word synergy. This was serious. Then came the carpenter's workbench, a tool for paint and progress. Because apparently, I needed color to unlock a whole new biome. While experimenting, I discovered the island block, an item that let me control what spawned on each chunk of land. Sand, grass, stone. I was no longer a player. I was a god! And then there was the Island Eater. A block so mysterious, so ominous, I decided to never touch it. Some power is best left alone. Eventually, I built a crucible, a dark relic that allowed me to summon ghosts for crafting, for farming, for killing. I started with the crafting ghost, who followed me around constantly. Wouldn't stay in place, wouldn't craft, just hovered. Sometimes they'd help at the furnace. Other times, they'd ignore it entirely and follow me around like an obsessive girlfriend with a clipboard and no sense of boundaries. I never summoned another, because every time I looked at them, I remembered how many souls I spent to bring them back from the beyond, only to do nothing but haunt me adorably. Day 55. I finally went fishing. Yes, I had a fishing rod for 50 days. Upgraded it. Never used it once. And honestly, good. Fishing involved clicking, but with rotational physics. If you clicked the wrong way, you'd spin a stupid wheel and miss the treasure, just to accidentally catch a fish. It sucked. I had meat, cooked meat, buff-granting, soul-healing, protein-rich steak, and coconut cocktails. I didn't need fish. I chose not to need fish. Don't get me wrong. I love sushi. But when you live on an island surrounded by water, sometimes the best thing you can do is not eat fish. Also, furnace-grilled, unseasoned haddock just doesn't hit the same.
Several days passed. Days of quiet, relentless farming. By day 65, I had become a machine. Between day 55 and day 65, I mined, I harvested, I hoarded, all in pursuit of the next biome. But to unlock it, I needed credits. So I built a marketplace. A passive, beautiful little stall that generated money over time just for me existing. The more I placed, the more I made. And with a certain book, I'd be able to multiply it all. I was this close to becoming the CEO of OUTPATH. By day 70, my chlorophyll machine was complete. It could turn any plant into bottled green slime. Magically. No tubing, no loading system, just poof, bottle appears. Don't question it. With the materials gathered, I finally unlocked Biome 5. A winter wonderland. Snow fell gently over hills.
White bunnies hopped through the frost, icicles glittered, and I was ready to absolutely decimate it for minerals. I discovered hills chime, flowers shaped like bells, and octanite, a glowing mineral with charged versions. By combining the tree leaves with octanite, I crafted frozen octanite, a cold, magical alloy that allowed me to create two incredible materials, reinforced durasteel and spirit ingots. These would be the foundation of everything I'd need in the coming days. Durasteel, especially, was my long-awaited tool upgrade. I'd been stuck with Lushite for 25 days. Do you know what it's like to mine high-tier minerals with a green stick? I do. Of course, before I made a new pickaxe, I made a sword. Again. Because it looked cool, okay? I'm a sucker for shiny, unnecessarily deadly things. Function is good, but fashion is everything. Is what I'd like to say, but then I proceeded to make a sickle, replacing my sword, and never using that sword ever again. I can't find it, even in my footage anymore, but I did craft it at one point. With more snowy islands unlocked, my mission was clear. I would automate everything. The time for manual gathering was over. I had machines now, hungry, beautiful machines that would devour the landscape for my own perfectly reasonable, morally flexible purposes. I placed them carefully across the fresh, unspoiled snow. One by one, they began to work, grinding, harvesting, consuming. And at the center of it all, my magical beacon, a radiant pillar of energy that slurped up every last resource and beamed it straight into my hopper. Nothing escaped. No nut, no cranny. The land didn't stand a chance.
Day 80, I began the day with a new creation, the magical multi-tool, a single device, pickaxe, hatchet, shovel, all in one. It wasn't just a tool, it was a lifestyle. And as if that weren't enough, the soul sword. Yes, the flashy, oversized blade I crafted purely because it looked cool, finally found its purpose. Turns out, I did use it after all. With my new power tools in hand, I moved on to nets, but not just any nets, chlorophyll nets. Crafted by soaking thread in my beloved green goo, these nets weren't just greener, they were better. They caught the same junk as before, but more of it, automatically, and beamed it straight into my inventory. Convenience, efficiency, and a slight toxic glow. Beautiful. With the trash flowing freely, I turned to alchemy. Yes, real alchemy, turning literal garbage into copper, iron, and gold, because why not? And seaweed? Straight into the recycler. Ground into fiber, still one of the most precious resources in my entire empire. Then came the throttle, a strange contraption, equal parts sorcery and industrial miracle. This device was basically an auto-clicker for my base, except, like everything else in OUTPATH, it required me to fuel it with water. And to add the water, I had to click 100 times. Progress, but make it painful.
Probably noticed throughout this video, there's a lot of sped up sections. I want you guys to know that this entire video, it took me 25 hours to make, right? It felt way longer than that, I just have to say. Now, I understand, right, why, but also why. No, I don't understand. What do I know about? I don't understand. Why did the game developer make it the most aggravating way as possible? I don't know if I'm missing some kind of special thing or some special item or some fucking brain cells or some shit, but why, when I want to put 100 coal or 1,000 coal or 100 water or 1,000 water, if I want to put a selected amount of stuff into one item so it can pump and do its fucking job, do I have to click so many times? Holy shit. Right? Not only that, but they clearly, you unlock skills throughout this thing. I think you probably noticed, but I have not mentioned in the narration of this video. I've not mentioned it, but you will have noticed that you can craft X amount, and you can actually type in how much you want: half, medium, small, large. whatever that is, right? You couldn't do that at the very start. You had to unlock that over time. So I thought maybe it would be kind of the same thing, but it's not. It's just pain. So I know it's early access and everything, but come on, man. You could just add that, make my life easier. I'd be a happy guy. The next guy be a happy guy. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying as well. My voice is now gone.
The craft wand. A tool sent down by the heavens themselves. Yes, it cost 25 credits per use. But with 2.6 million in my inventory and that number rising every second, it may as well have been free. This wand instantly crafted anything within a 15-meter radius. A true miracle, a cosmic upgrade, a divine click skipper. Truly, one of the most amazing tools to ever exist in this absurd, glorious world. It was day 90, and I was ready. The final biome, the last frontier, the heavens, floating above the world, high in the clouds. Honestly, heaven was a bit empty. Some plants, a few rocks, vibes mostly. Until I found fossilized clouds. What did they give me? Clouds. If you didn't guess that, I don't know what to tell you. But there was one thing that made it all worth it. Flying piggies! Yes, pigs with wings, hovering through the heavenly fog like bacon-scented angels. Naturally, I did what any sane person would do. I built a massive, vertical tower straight into the sky, so I could climb up like a squirrel who just snorted a line of the purest, fluffiest white powder the heavens had to offer. Clouds, of course. And in case you were wondering, no. The jump pad was still useless.
So, I have some pretty bad news, and I kind of said this at the start of the video, so I did warn you.
No!
Yeah, my
Please,
footage,
no!
iterated, corrupted,
No!
is what I would like to say. But I just didn't hit record. See, the thing is with the software that I was currently using, right? I had switched over my microphones for a different related thing for some VR content, which also didn't work out, but it's fine, it's whatever, right? And I was so ill and dying inside that I just couldn't care. I didn't really care. So yeah. Or it was just more of the fact that I just couldn't be bothered and just assumed and hoped for the best that it was working. There was two issues that I had whilst making this video. The first one is I had two videos get just corrupted and they wouldn't work and it really sucked. Then I had an issue where I just recorded the wrong screen. That's on me. And then my other issue was that I just didn't hit record and I had clips on instead of session. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As you can hear, my voice is a lot better, and I'm thinking about doing another video. It's gonna not be like this exactly unless I do a video like this, but it's what I'm trying to say is, I got no scripts for this, as you can tell, right? The narrator knows what he's saying. The AI voice knows what he's saying because I typed it out with a little bit of help from ChatGPT, right? But I don't know what I'm saying, but what I'm trying to say, yeah, is I hope you enjoyed the video. Editing wise, could have done a little bit better, I understand that. And then, the fact that I know that, and I'm still giving you this content.
2 hours
It's
later.
a personal problem, seriously. But I do genuinely hope that you enjoyed the video. The game that I played is still early access, and at the end of the video, not really much happens. I unlocked the new heaven area, as you saw, and that was basically me defeating the game. However, if the game comes out with a full release version with way more stuff, I might redo it and make a revised version of this video that I've done, but do it from the start and make it better. Let me know how you guys feel about the AI voice. I personally think it's really cool, but I also think it takes a lot of the emotion, the personal effect from the actual video. So maybe I could do a little bit of both, or maybe I could do it so like I have some shorts of the video and then narrated by an AI, and then I have the actual video which is narrated by me. I don't know, I'm not particularly sure. I do like the idea of using AI, maybe because I'm lazy, maybe because, you know, he don't fuck up like I fuck up. But yeah, you guys let me know. Anyway, I've probably said this about 4 times now, but I hope you enjoyed the video. And that's pretty much it. Basically, after completing the heaven stage, I created a weapon that instantly one-shot everything. It was fun for about 3 minutes. It's not even worth showing, cause it was just boring, okay? So yeah. A couple of things for this game, as I've complained a little as the narrator, right, is this game is kind of torturous, but it's also kind of fun. I do plan on doing a satisfactory video, which is going to be a lot longer than this. It's not going to be a 100 days video. I think I'm just going to do episodes. Maybe I'll like record like 4 hours of satisfactory, turn it into an hour, make it an episode, and so on, maybe through the stages of satisfactory. As satisfactory has had a lot of updates and I haven't played it in many years. So yeah. I'll be streaming that all live on my Twitch, so go check out that on my Twitch. I'll be making some new songs. I was going to show you guys a song, you know, Small People, but I decided to just grace you with my voice instead. Yeah. Peace, guys.